All right, Tuesday night Krug Show brought to you by Pig and a Pickle. Raj is in the house. Niners get a win, but who is their best quarterback? Are they good enough on defense? We got a lot to get to. Let's go. Off and running on the Krug Show, brought to you by Pig and a Pickle. The best barbecue in all of Northern California is Pig and a Pickle. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're soon to open in Petaluma. And of course, they've got great brisket chili, great barbecue chicken, great house-made sausages. It's really a fantastic restaurant. Check them out. Pig and a Pickle. 2 locations, a third on the way. And be there on December 7th. We're going to do the Krug Show meet and greet. We'll have an open house there throughout the day. I'll be there watching football. Stop by, get something to eat, have a beer, maybe a soda, maybe do some Christmas shopping. And here is our flyer that Kev made. It looks good. The Krug Show meet and greet. That's a picture from the last meet and greet. December 7th in Corte Madera. They're at 341 Corte Madera Town Center right there in Corte Madera. Stop by, have some barbecue, have some brisket. We've got a Ricky Pearsall autographed mini helmet to give away. So there you go. I can't say that Ricky's going to be there, but you never know. But no, thanks to Pig and a Pickle, and of course, thanks to Anthony Catania and all the good people at our fantastic sponsor who gave us our autographed helmet. Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles are at 205 Cypress Avenue in Pacific Grove, California on the Monterey Peninsula. The great Anthony Catania is at 831-521-5264. All right, but we are brought to you, and Kev says also merch. We're gonna give away not just the Krug Show, not just the mini helmet for Ricky Pearsall autographed, but we also have some Krug Show merchandise that we're going to give away as well. So stop by, say hello. December 7th, we'll be there all day in Corte Madera. Don't go to Emeryville, go to Corte Madera in Marin. Stop by and say hello. So thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Raj, Niners got the win. What did you think of the game?
Oh, man, it was fun. I was there. Obviously, the big talk was Brock Purdy, the interceptions. But I'm going to say this. It was a great win. I mean, it was a gritty win. You know, the defense pulled it out. But the whole game I'm watching, I wasn't concerned that we were going to lose. I was like, I felt comfortable. I felt like the Niners controlled that game, which is crazy. You throw 3 interceptions, you lose the turnover battle pretty much. And to say that they controlled the game, I felt they were in control. I said it all week. The lights are going to be too bright for Bryce Young. This was his biggest game of his NFL career, really. I mean, he's never played a big game like this. It was a playoff caliber game, and he was just rattled. The defense, as soon as they got that interception in that end zone in the red, when Jir Brown got that little touch, the interception, he read him like a book. He was like, at that moment, I was like, we're going to win the game. I don't care how many. Brock could have threw 60 interceptions, and we probably still would have won the game. That's how bad Bryce was looking in this game. He was totally rattled. But yeah, I'm glad we won the game. I hope we don't throw interceptions like that again, because you're not going to win in playoffs. But defense, man, you got to give Robert Saleh all the credit in the world. I don't know how he's doing it with this defense, patchwork defense. Last year, Nick Sorensen, he couldn't make the adjustments night and day. And Christian McCaffrey, man, that guy holding this team together on his back.
It is interesting. I mean, like even in this game, it's like Rico Dowdle went for 6.3 yards a carry. Chuba Hubbard went for 5.3 a carry. The Panthers ran as a team for 5.3 a carry, but they only ran 13 times all night. So it kind of makes you wonder. I mean, and we're not talking about a game that was out of hand. It was 10-3 at halftime. Yeah. It was what, 17-9 at the end of 3 quarters. So the game was an 8-point game. It wasn't like this was a 3-touchdown game. And yet, even though they had 5.3 a carry, they only ran 13 times, and they passed it, 29 times. And I know the Niner pass defense on paper is not considered very good, and there's not much pass rush, but still, it's like you're running the ball for 5 yards a carry, and you only ran it 13 times. Okay. Kind of wondered about the wisdom of Canales there. And then, you get a 7-yard run by Bryce Young down to the 1 yard line, and the next play is not a running play. Instead, you call a pass play, and he throws an interception in the end zone on 1st and goal from the 1. I mean, what? First of all, I got to wonder about his instincts.
Yeah.
2, I got to wonder about, if his instincts are that bad, then why the heck would you put the ball in his hands? Why? You're his coach. His instincts suck. Why wouldn't you run the ball twice and let him throw it on 3rd down? You're at the 1. Instead, you throw it on 1st and 10, at 1st and goal from the 1, and then he has nothing there. And instead of throwing it out of the back of the end zone, you're obviously in the driver's seat. You load up a ball that Jir Brown picks out of the air. I mean, that was like quarterbacking idiocy.
Yeah.
I was watching like somebody who's like the dumbest quarterback who ever played. I mean, I was like, what are you doing, bro? So Bryce Young might not be that good. Teterola McMillan had a horrendous night. They threw him 7 balls. He caught 2. He probably had 2 or 3 drops. Like real bad drops too. So kind of a weird game. 49ers got an 11-point win, but did their defense really stop them? I don't know.
I think they did.
Did they stop themselves? I mean, they just stopped running. I mean, the 49ers, it's not like the Niners got a bunch of pressure. They got 1 sack. It's not like they got a bunch of hits on them. They hit them 3 times. It wasn't a overwhelming rush. It just seemed like Carolina wasn't good. I mean, the Niners turned the ball over 3 times in an 8-throw span, and a couple of those in their own territory, and Carolina turned the 3 turnovers into 3 points.
Yeah, they didn't do anything with those turnovers. Like that's what I'm saying. When you normally get turnovers and you win the turnover battle, you turn them into and you win the game. But I wasn't worried. Again, I think a lot of this credit has to come to the defense. Like, yes, Carolina played badly. You just mentioned it. The goal line you could have handed it off to Rico Dowdle, one of the best running backs in the league. Like, I don't know what they were doing. Their coach was stupid, trying to outsmart. He got outsmarted himself. He got outcoached. But you got to give credit to defense. I know they weren't getting pressure on him, but they had Bryce Young confused all night. He looked like he was paranoid, like schizophrenic. Like, he was so scared last night. I don't know what it was. Maybe he's just not good. He's not him, but it's Monday Night Football, bright lights, primetime game. Bryce Young has not played a game of this magnitude in the NFL. I don't think. And it was too much for him. And I know Brock threw the picks and everything, but it didn't matter because the Niners knew they had this guy where they wanted him. I mean, there was times where he would throw it, 3rd down play, Diamo Lenore, PBU, Upton Stout, PBU. They made timely plays. I know they didn't have the defensive, pass rush, which is a worry to me overall. But, I mean, they held them in check. It was the strategy. Robert Saleh gave him a false hope, and then, boom, pass game came. They couldn't pass it to anybody. Like, they have one of the best young wide receivers, and he was stone cold locked up. So, I don't know. I got to give credit to this defense. I know Carolina was bad in this game, but they're a playoff caliber to their, if they would have won that game, it would have been first place in their division. So it's not like they're horrible, but I don't think they're as good as everybody thought their record was because they beat some bad teams, but they also lost to some bad teams. So they're a mediocre team, bottom line.
They're garbage, and they were bad. I know they were 6-5, but they played so bad. I mean, they played. I thought Canales' plan was bad. I thought their execution was bad. Their awareness was horrible. Now, they didn't have 2 key linebackers and a key offensive lineman. Maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe the Niners had something to do with it. Or maybe they just had an off night. Or as you said, maybe what the truest thing is what you said off the start, which is just that the moment might have been too big for them. I mean, it's a national stage. The Niners are used to the national stage, and they're not. And they haven't been on the national stage for a while, and it really maybe it showed. Let's talk about what's real and what's not, okay? Because we got Niner fans all over the map on what's real and what's not. And we'll get to Purdy and Jones and the future at quarterback and all that in a second. But let's get to just what's real and what's not. Let's start on the Niner offensive line. Is it real that the Niner offensive line is not very good, or is it not? Of the top 6 PFF grades in this game, 5 of them went to the Niner offensive line. Maybe the most pivotal one of the most pivotal plays was Colton McKivitz falling on that fumble recovery by McKivitz. But then you watch Baldy. Baldy did a really nice breakdown on the Niner offensive line. The best grade went to Dom Pooney, but Jake Brendel played well in this game. And it looked like the 49ers, did what they wanted to do. I mean, they didn't run great, but Robinson went for 5.7 a carry. Niners went for about 4 yards a carry, 3.9. But that's, that might have been even, suppressed a little bit by the fact that they were trying to run out the game at the end, and maybe some of those runs didn't go for very long. But what'd you think? I mean, well, why don't we start with Jake Brendel and the Niners offensive line? Colton McKivitz, Dom Pooney, the Spencer Burford. Are these guys good or not? I mean, the Niner fans would say, "Oh, they're terrible, they're terrible, they're terrible," but they are coming off a really strong game. What are they? Are they good or not?
I mean, they played good this last game. Like I said, I mean, they've played better, but I don't think they're a great line. I'd say they're a step above mediocre. I don't think they're like garbage, but they played the Carolina Panthers. I think going back to when you said, is it Carolina? Is it the Niners defense? And I gave the defense credit. I got to give this take is, yes, Carolina was not good. So I feel like that kind of boosted up the 49ers performance on the O-line. And let's put it this way. When the Niners play the Browns this coming week, we're going to really see what this O-line is made of, because the Browns,
if we're still talking about the O-line after this game, then 100%, maybe they're for real.
Exactly. Because listen, I know the Browns don't have a good record, whatever. That defense is still damn good. They've been in games. They've been in close games. If they had an offense, if they could figure, Stefanski probably would have started Shedeur weeks ago. Maybe they would have won some games. I don't know. But the Browns are just a terrible franchise. But that defense, Myles Garrett, oh my God, that defensive line is going to give this offensive line a lot of challenges. We're going to see what they're made of, because I'm a little worried. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be cold. It's a road game. I'm pretty sure it's an early game. And Myles Garrett's coming for the race. He's trying to go for the NFL record of sacks in a year. This man's got 18? He's got 18 sacks already. That's absolutely crazy. This man's an unbelievable player. I'm scared of Myles Garrett, what he's going to do to us. And if they can hold up, then yeah, maybe they're a good O-line, but I don't know how they're going to do it.
All right, let's go to the next one. Ricky Pearsall. Is he good? Is he not good? Shanahan's like, oh, man, he's impressive. He was impressive. He had no catches, or he'd one catch for no yards. Well, this week, I mean, if one catch for no yards is impressive, I mean, 2 catches for 6 yards. What? This guy was off the chain. He was so good. Oh, no. Is that not the way it goes? Ricky Pearsall. Is he good or is he not good?
Is he rusty? I don't know. Is he still trying to, get back into the groove, because he missed 6 weeks? He missed a lot of weeks, 6 weeks about with the knee injury. Like, is he still ready to roll? Is he 100%? I don't know. But the other thing is sometimes he's very open, but Brock doesn't get him the ball. Or whatever the case, he may not be the first or second or third read. So maybe he's getting lost in the shuffle. But then there's times where Brock tries to get him the ball and the interception. So there's a multitude of factors. I don't know if he's a wide receiver one. A couple of weeks ago before he got injured, he was looking really sharp. He was looking good. But I don't know if he's a wide receiver one, or maybe he just hasn't played enough or had enough time to develop to become that guy. But whatever the case is, they still need to get a elite type of wide receiver in this offense, because I don't know if he's ever going to be like a JSN, a Puka, Chase, Jamar, somebody like that. But he could be a good receiver, but I don't think he's going to be like an elite top tier guy. But maybe he's a little rusty, Larry.
All right, here's another one for you. I've heard so much about how this guy sucks over and over again. Ji'Ayir Brown. Is he not good or is he good? He had 5 tackles. He had 4 solo. He had 2 interceptions. So listen to some Niner fans, get him the hell out of here. Get him out of town ASAP. He can't do it. He sucks. He's this, he's that. Tons of people have been ripping him. I've always really liked him. I just think that you got to be patient, and you have no pass rush. He's had 3 different coordinators in 3 years. But what you saw this weekend is who he is. This guy's a productive interceptor. He had a ton of interceptions at Penn State. And I just think Niner fans ought to be more patient with Ji'Ayir. I think he's smart. I think he's tough. I think he's physical. I know that he's athletic enough. I know that he's smart enough, and I know that football is vitally important to him. When I have those three traits, Raj, I'm willing to give you time to kind of figure it out. And I get it. I understand the frustration of Niner fans. He looked pretty good under Wilkes, and then not as good the last couple of years, and then this year it's like, Siegel week 1 is starting over him, so it's like, well, wait a second. If Siegel's better, then maybe the Niners don't think this guy's very good. Then maybe we shouldn't think he's very good. But then it's pretty obvious in the last few weeks that Saleh and Shanahan really like the man they call Tig, Ji'Ayir Brown. Where are you with Ji'Ayir? Is he good or is he not?
I think he's getting better, but you can't. This is the thing. One big game, he's kind of come around maybe the last 2 games, but I think because we played Carolina again, Bryce Young. I went on a whole rant of how Bryce Young just wasn't that guy. He didn't look ready for prime time, so I think that was part of it. But I got to give Ji'Ayir Brown a lot of credit. I'm pretty proud of him because this man got benched after he was the starter. He got benched for Pinnock, Marquis Siegel, Mustafa comes back, and it was like, oh man, Ji'Ayir Brown losing his job. He was the big draft pick a couple years ago. He had a lot of talent coming out of college. He has the talent and he has the instincts. And then he got injured. He had the offseason surgery. He didn't look quick he didn't look quick. He was missing a lot of tackles. But I give him a lot of credit. He played a hell of this is the best game of his career, just like Kyle said. I agree with that take. He's shown some potential here and there. I remember Super Bowl a couple years ago, picked off Mahomes. So he has talent, but it just hasn't rounded out. But I'll give him a lot of credit for that game. Let's see if he could keep it up because it was the Panthers. I want to see him play in a bigger game, in a better game. Like I want to see him play like that in a playoff game. But, definitely needed that because this safety group has been pretty abysmal this year. That was probably the best game I've seen from this secondary, the safety unit. They were really good, and it was really spearheaded by Ji'Ayir. Is he horrible? I don't think he's horrible. I think he has talent, and I think he's getting better. But, I think the big thing for Ji'Ayir is he's got good work ethic. For him to, like I said, lose the job and then to keep fighting his ass off to prove that he could get back in the lineup, that says a lot about him and his work ethic. So I'm happy for him. I want him to see more success. So we need a good safety, man. We've been dying. And, we lost Hufanga, and he's playing really good out in Denver. So if Ji'Ayir Brown can play at that caliber, then we're all going to be happy.
How about Renardo Green? Is he good or is he not good? He made no tackles. He got burned for a touchdown. The touchdown that he got burned on was pretty bad, actually. And as I said, he made no tackles. Renardo Green, is he good or is he not?
I like him. He's good. He had, it wasn't his best game, but before that game, he was actually really, really starting to heat up, and he was really playing solid coverage. Early in the season, I think he was hampered by the injuries. He was limited, nagging stuff from training camp. And I think during that mid part of the season, he was starting to kind of really showcase his talent. He was really good as a rookie last year. I like Renardo Green. I'm not going to give up on him. Sometimes it's just the way it breaks. I feel overall the defense played good. I'm okay with his performance yesterday. Again, it wasn't his best, but I believe in Renardo. I think he's a good player.
How about D. Winters? No, 1 tackle all day. Is he good or is he not?
I think we got a little premature on the hype early in the season. We were like, oh my God, D. Winters. But also, D. Winters was playing alongside Fred Warner. I think it made him look a lot better. And it was easy for him to go out there. When Fred Warner's patrolling, your job is a lot easier. I think since, he got injured, D. Winters hasn't been as good as he was early in the season. A lot of missed tackles. The coverage has been pretty bad lately for D. Winters. So I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's like great. I think he's just not as good as we thought he was at the beginning of the season because the hype was insane. I'm to blame too. I thought he was going to be the next, like, holy smoke. He's going to be better than Dre Green. He's going to be Navarro Bowman 2.0. Like, that was the hype. We need to I think we need to take it down a little.
Okay, so I think that's pretty much the entire list. I guess my point is that, it's one of those things where, like, the highest graded 49ers on offense, Pooney, McKivitz, Trent Williams, Burford, Luke Farrell, all offensive linemen except for the tight end. Highest graded Niners on defense, Ji'Ayir Brown, Upton Stout, Malik Mustafa, Jordan Elliott, Kalia Davis, top 3 guys, all DBs. Lowest graded Niners on offense, Demarcus Robinson, Ricky Pearsall, Christian McCaffrey, Kendrick Bourne, Sky Moore. Lowest graded Niners on defense, Curtis Robinson, who had 3 tackles all night. Jason Pinnock, Alfred Collins, C.J. West, Cleveland Farrell had the lone sack. The highest graded Panther, of course, was J.C. Horn. And then Princely Amumamalian and Mike Jackson. Travis Gibson, by the way, was their 5th highest rated guy.
Yeah. Former Niner. A little revenge game for him.
Yeah, exactly. Former Niner.
Yeah.
Trent gave up 3 pressures, 2 for Brendel, Barch and Burford, and Pooney 1, McKivitz none. As far as the offensive line. What else? There was one other. Oh, as far as I wanted to see the snap counts. Let me see the snap
Upton
counts.
was the 2nd highest grade on defense, right? Upton Stout.
Yes.
That guy played with a lot of energy, man. Upton Stout's great.
So Barch and Burford both played exactly 35 snaps. Burford drew the start, and Barch and him got exactly the same number of snaps. That's interesting. I mean, that's hard to do.
Well, it is, but I think the rotation is best for business because Barch, if he played all the snaps, he probably wouldn't last. So you need to kind of rotate him out.
I think you're right. Right. I asked Barch in the locker room what he thought of the game, and he said he thought the offensive line's really coming together. So there you go. I mean, okay, so let's get to the quarterback. I mean, is Brock Purdy hurt, and that's why he threw 3 picks?
No.
Or, as some people are arguing, is Brock Purdy just not the guy? And they paid him too soon, and he's just not good. It's not that he's hurt. It's just that he's not good. He doesn't take care of the football. His arm's middling. I personally believe that his arm's good enough, and that when healthy, his skill set is good enough that he can be a top 10 NFL quarterback. He might be right around 10, but I still think he's right around the top 10 of NFL quarterbacks. And I think you can win a Super Bowl with him. And I think he's their best quarterback. But I also think that exactly what I'm seeing at practice is exactly what I'm seeing in the games. I talked about it a couple weeks ago before the Jacksonville game. I said, his release is high. He's not getting his toe down. He's leaving passes up. There's not a lot on them. And then the accuracy, I thought, got better as the weeks progressed. And I told you guys, hey, you know what? I'm at practice and the accuracy is pretty good, but there's kind of a loopiness to his throws. He's not getting a lot on it. There's not a lot of zip on it. And we get into the freaking game, and that is, and I said his escapability, he looks kind of sore. He doesn't look like he wants to get away. Like he doesn't have that same desire to sprint. You can tell that he's sore. And what have we seen in 2 games? A guy who's reluctant to run, and compared to the Brock we knew pre-injury. And we're seeing a guy whose accuracy is a little bit off, but we're seeing a guy who the zip is not on. He doesn't have the same zip on his passes. So fast forward to the game last night, and I'm watching the game with Todd Husak, former NFL quarterback, and he's pointing out to me several examples of the replays, and he's like, look at his footwork right here on the board, and his right foot, he's not planting the right foot. Sometimes he's not planting it at all. A lot of times when he is planting it, it's very lightly planted, and you can see by the way he's throwing that it's all arm. It's all arm and shoulder. He's not driving off his lower leg. He's not driving off that right foot like he normally does. So the ball is loopy, and it's kind of doesn't have a lot on it. And then that's really what we're seeing. I mean, we're seeing a guy who's turning the ball over, not because he's not making the right read. He knows where he's going with it, but there's not a lot on the pass. And when I asked him about it in the post game, because I did ask that first question, I said, Brock, you threw the 3 interceptions. What? And he's like, I made the right decision, and I would agree. I mean, I don't think that it was like, he didn't make a good decision. I think he made a good decision. It's all about the execution, and he's not delivering it with any zip, and he's giving the defenders. We saw it the week prior on the ball to McCaffrey in the second half that hung up there, and McCaffrey literally jumped and was coming down before the ball arrived in his hands because it really hung up there that long. And it's like, we saw the exact same thing in this game. So he's not doing it because he wants to do it. He's doing it because the toe injury is preventing him from doing it. So I'll push back aggressively on the people who are like, hey, he's not good. No, he is good. He is good. It's not that he's not good. He's good. It's that he's hurt. And, Grant was talking about this the other night. Oh, here it comes. There's going to be a soft benching and this and that. And it's like, well, so if they notice that he's not the same player and they take him out, it's not like they're saying he's not as good as Mac Jones. They're just saying he's not playing at the level that he can or that they need him to.
Yeah.
So now here's the debate. Here it is. And I understand from the Niners' perspective, Raj, I totally get it. Hey, is there a debate between Grant asked the question to Shanahan? Did you think about going to Mac? No. And why is he going to say that? It's because of the money.
Yeah.
If Brock Purdy were just another guy on the team, he would have been like, well, I thought about it, but I decided not to do it. I was thinking about it, but I don't, I think I'm going to stay with Brock. But because of the massive amounts of money and all the insecurity that goes into, Jed, we need you to pay this money. You sure this is the guy? Yes, Jed, this is the guy. This is the guy. This is the guy. You sure we should pay him $100+ million? Yes, Jed. You sure now? Yes, yeah. So you got all this invested in this decision. And now Lynch, Shanahan are deathly afraid to even let that door open that Mac Jones could be the better of the two options right now. We can't even consider it. And it's just, it's intellectually dishonest because really you're trying to make it seem like Brock Purdy's Joe Montana and he's won 4 rings, and he's just this honest, and Mac Jones is a career backup. And in reality, no, that's not the case. They're both middling type, I think solid NFL quarterbacks, but they're very comparable. In fact, Jones was actually the higher rated guy and had the more successful collegiate career. So they're very comparable, but the Niners don't want you to think they're comparable, because if they think they're comparable, then Jed's immediately next question is going to be like, why the heck did you two donkeys throw me down? Why do we have to throw down $100 million of my money if these guys are comparable? So they've got to paint a picture that no, they're not. Brock is way up here and Jones is way down there. And even though I think that's a bunch of crap, I don't even think that's true, but I'll give you that Brock's better than Jones. But when Brock's hurt versus Jones, now I think it's not just sort of close. It's really close. And it's not like it's like an absurd discussion. It's a totally appropriate and correct discussion. And I understand why the Niners don't want to have it, because it calls into question their decision to pay Brock what they paid him. And I'm sure it upsets a lot of people internally with the bean counting ownership, who are sitting there going, well, do we really need to spend all that money if these guys are really comparable? So there's all kinds of messaging and things going on behind the scenes that make people not be honest. But if we're just honest, okay, forget the contract, separate your emotion, I've been telling everybody that, screw all that. Screw what you've been telling everybody. Screw all the emotion. Screw the money. Screw it all. Get rid of all of it and just say, who's better right now? And then the honest person would say, they might say Brock. The honest person might say, no, it's Jones. But don't sit there and try to tell me that it's not debatable or that it's not close. It is close. It's really, really, really close. So this, and I get it too. The Niners have their messaging, and they've got so many sycophants and mouthpieces that people are smart enough to guess along with what the Niners want, and they're just going to say whatever they think is going to curry favor with the power teat. I get that. But if you really want to separate all that crap and all the money and all the things that make us say, well, we think Brock's better and this and that, and just go with, how's Brock playing lately? How did Jones play lately? If you're going to have that debate, then it's like, hey, you know what? It's absolutely open. It's very much open for debate. So that all being said, sorry for the soliloquy. Give
That's
me
it.
your thought on, I don't know what Brock is. He's not 100%. Maybe he's 80%, maybe 75%. Let's say he's 75%. Is Brock at 75% a better option for the 49ers going forward every Sunday than Jones at 100?
See, that's the question, and it's a tough one because the unfortunate part for Brock Purdy is he did get hurt this year, and that opened the door for Mac Jones, and he showed everybody he can win games. The offense looked good. They beat the Rams. Like, Mac Jones proved to everybody that I can do what your $53 million quarterback could do as well. And it's kind of bad because this fan base, there's been a lot of quarterback controversies over the years. So they see that and they're like, holy crap, this guy can win. Purdy's not playing good, and they get triggered. They see the interceptions. They're like, oh my God. And playoffs come, it's going to be like this. And I 100% agree with that because it's a little scary. We got a little PTSD, right? We've been through the quarterback carousel, and now we're like, did we pay this guy a little prematurely? And I get all the stuff that they're saying. And then, the other thing is, I think he is playing a little hurt. I know he's not going to tell us. I know he says that he's not, but Kyle Shanahan told us he's going to be hurt all season. He literally said that a couple weeks ago. And just being a PT, I understand that he's not going to be 100% through that injury. It's a really weird injury. It lingers. You could tell he's a little inaccurate. He's throwing a little bit high out there. He's kind of lofting them. He's also, I said this earlier on KMBR Nightly. A lot of people laugh because he's got a gunslinger mentality. He tries to play like Favre, right? Favre would just throw it out. You got that gunsling, got that mentality. You got to be aggressive. And Brock said he wants to be an aggressive quarterback. That's just his mentality, no matter what. Credit to him. He kept throwing even after the picks later. I think part of that was no more J.C. Horn. Oh, that was a big injury for them because he was eating them alive. I think that kind of settled him, and he kind of settled down. But Brock he has the mentality of a gunslinger, but does he have the arm to match that? I don't know. I don't think he does to have that mentality. He could throw it, but I don't think he has that arm strength to just like take the top off of defense, go 70 yards down the field. He's a good, talented quarterback. We've seen him take this team to the Super Bowl. We all know a couple years back in the NFC Championship game, if he didn't tear the UCL, probably would have won that game. Like, he's a talented quarterback. The story's amazing. But because Mac Jones came in and he won those games and Brock Purdy was hurt, and then he's always going to be hurt the rest of the season, according to Kyle, it makes you wonder, like, yeah, maybe you just put Mac Jones in because if this guy is not 100% and he's forcing himself to be out there, is it detrimental to the team? Part of me thinks, yeah, it is, Larry. And again, I think Mac Jones is a good quarterback. I didn't think so before in the draft a couple years ago. It took me some time, and I've come to respect him. But you're paying the man $53 million, so you have to start him in. And it's kind of like other teams, like Josh Allen. He's going to have some bad games every once in a while. Justin Herbert, But the problem is they're backups. They don't have Mac Jones, where he could come in and win games and make you wonder, maybe we should put Mac Jones in. So it's a tough position to be for the 49ers because their backup proved they could come in and sling it and win games. And that's Kyle Shanahan for you. He's getting that reputation of, I could fix you if you come over here. And he's the quarterback whisperer now all of a sudden. So it's kind of a weird situation to be in. I think Brock can learn from that, learn from this and move on. But those are his tendencies. He does make risky plays. He's always been doing it. It's not the first time it's happened, but he usually has one of those clunker games. The other thing is, too, he might be a little rusty. You got to give him that. He hasn't played in weeks. This was his second game. Last week, he looked okay, but you got to remember, last week there was 2 or 3 passes that could have been picked, but Arizona Cardinals had cocoa butter all over their hands. This week, the Panthers did not have cocoa butter on their hands, and they took those interceptions.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, too. Some people would say, man, it's just really those 3 passes. But in reality, there easily could have been 6 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were at least 2 or 3 more other very interceptable balls. So it's not just about, he had 3 bad throws. It wasn't like a perfect night with 3 bad throws. He might have had 6 bad throws, but he wound up with 3 interceptions.
Yeah. Now,
the question is this. What happens if you come out next week against Cleveland and it's more of the same? It's loopy passes, it's interceptions, it's, Brock not looking like Brock, not having that same escapability, but also not having that same zip and arm strength on the downfield throws. What if it happens again? Then what?
Then you're gonna start asking questions.
I mean, Todd Husek, who's pretty grounded guy, played in the NFL. Not one of these knee-jerk reaction guys. He's not some clickbait artist or somebody with a, he's got to have a strong opinion. Nobody was listening to him. He's just sitting there next to me. At halftime, he's like, you better get Mac ready. Brock doesn't look healthy. That's Todd Husek at halftime. Brock doesn't look healthy. You better get Mac ready. I mean, Brock Purdy came back. Why did he come back? Because Mac Jones was looking good. Why did he come back? Because Mac Jones was looking good. It's like, why did Brock come back? Mac Jones was looking good. He came back because Mac Jones was looking really good.
I'm saying.
Don't you think? I think.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The problem of Mac Jones coming in and looking good was like, oh my God, we have this guy that, again, they don't want another controversy. I don't think John Lynch, they've got enough drama on their team on a weekly basis. Like, this is the one team that could have drama without even trying out of the NFL franchise. They can, next week, something's going to happen with Brandon Ayuk. There's going to be some drama. They don't want to create anymore, especially quarterback controversy, because they've been there. Listen, the problem of Mac Jones coming in and looking good over the last couple of weeks with Brock Purdy's injury is the fact that he looked good coming in. And it's like,
damn, very good.
He looked good. And it's like, if he's injured, why are we forcing this guy who's getting paid $53 million? You're going to hurt his career. But again,
because Brock wants to be out there, and it's his call.
You're starting quarter, and I respect that. At the end of the day, like Christian McCaffrey, people say, why do they give him so many carries? Because he wants to fucking ball, Larry. He wants to play. Like, that's his mentality, and you got to respect it. This is your starting quarterback. You're gonna live with him. You're gonna die with him. You got to roll with it, man. This is who you paid for, and those are the decisions the front office made, and it is what it is. I mean, Brock has taken this team to great heights. He's won playoffs, but I agree with you. I don't think he's 100%. Like, he just looks like he's not. He doesn't want to run something. Like, there was that second pick, right? The one who was trying to throw it into the end zone. I think Kittle. He could have just ran the ball. He could have just picked it up and ran.
He would. And last year he would have ran.
He would have ran.
And instead he threw off his back foot and airmailed the receiver and threw it right to a defensive player. I mean, that was horrible.
That's crazy. But you gotta give J.C. Horn a lot of credit. He was fucking tremendous. I'm a big J.C. Horn fan. It was crazy that it was J.C. Horn that got those interceptions, because a couple years back, when he was coming out of the draft, that was my draft. I was like, please do anything you can to get J.C. Horn. I was begging to get J.C. Horn, and we didn't. And I was like, man, when I saw we were playing him, I was like, oh, God, he's gonna. I kind of predicted he was gonna get us some interceptions.
Oh, he's a good player. He's a good player. He's a good player. And if you throw up nothing balls, he's gonna pick them off. Now, I'll tell you what I think is really interesting about the whole Purdy Jones debate is that I kind of feel like whoever plays now is not the guy that's going to be playing in the playoffs. Because, like, if you play Brock Purdy now, there's enough games between now and the playoffs that he's going to exacerbate the turf toe before the playoffs. And he's not going to be there for the playoffs. And if you play Mac Jones now, I feel like, Mac Jones, by the time the playoffs roll around, probably will be out of there with some kind of an injury. And my guess is, and that you'll be back with Purdy. I kind of feel like whoever they go with now, they're going to wind up going with the other guy in the playoffs. Just because Brock, realistically, I think Brock probably has 4 or 5 games left, and I would have held him out through the bye week so that I could make sure that I would have him in the playoffs. But now that they're playing him now, what are the odds that he can get through? And I admire the fact that he wants to get out there and compete, because he's like, hey man, I don't want to lose my job to Mac Jones. So I'm going to get out there, turf toe and all. I'm going to do what I can do. And just as a competitor, and all the guile and toughness that he has, he's been able to win a couple of games here. And maybe that's the route. Maybe he is their best option because he does know the offense, and maybe he can gut out some of these games. But when you watch him throw, you're like, wait a second, these throws are going to get picked. And then you watch those throws get picked, and you're like, wait a second, this. And then the other thing is, like, Brock Purdy struggles against zone, and Carolina plays a ton of zone. He had 4 interceptions against zone. Now he's got 7 interceptions, all of them against zone defenses. I think that's kind of interesting. It's like against man, he can throw it to the void in the defense and he takes care of the football. But against zone, where you really got to rifle it in there in windows and guys can break on the ball from any direction. He really does struggle with guys kind of baiting him, watching his eyes, breaking on his throws, and picking off his passes. He's got 7 picks, all of them against zone coverage. I mean, that right there is pretty interesting.
That's a big stat. That's crazy, man. And yeah, so that's an interesting take. So you don't think Purdy's going to last through the rest of the season? I'll say this.
No.
If he can get through the Cleveland game healthy, he might have a chance. This Cleveland game is a little scary to me, Larry. Myles Garrett, I mean, at this point, Myles Garrett might set the record just against the Niners. Like, that's how worried I am about this, man. I'm absolutely worried for Brock Purdy into this game. And turf toe it's a wild injury, man. It's ruined. It stopped the career of Patrick Willis. Like, that's actually it's a tough injury, man. People think it's it's silly to say, oh, he's not injured or this and that. I think Brock, right? He has the talent. He wouldn't have got paid if they didn't think he was talented. This injury really has crept up on him and caused them some issues. But again, too, I will say I do think he's just not where he needs to be. His timing's off. Like I said, if you just look at it, it just doesn't look like he's hitting those passes like he should, like he was. But we'll see. But there's pressure too on his shoulders because I'm sure he knows if he keeps playing bad, people are going to say put in Mac Jones. So there's some pressure on there.
Well, and it's like one of those things. It's like maybe everybody should just start being honest. Let's be honest. Instead, Brock plays poorly. And then, hey, Brock, was it related to the toe? No, it wasn't related to the toe. Kyle, did you think Brock's interceptions were related to the toe? No, it's not. It's not related to the toe. Well, then what is it then? Does he just stink? Because he just threw 3 picks at home in a span of 8 passes. So it wasn't toe related. It's like, why don't we stay with it is toe related? Yeah, I think it could be toe related. Otherwise, what are you saying? If it's not toe related, it's like our only conclusion is to think this guy sucks. So wait, So were you wrong to pay this guy, the hundreds of millions that you're paying him, or is his toe affecting his accuracy? And sometimes I feel like if the question were asked that way, then you would get there's no doubt the toe is really impacting him. But if you just say, leave out the other part and just be like, hey, do you think the toe's a factor? No, we don't think the toe's a factor. Well, then what is it? Why is your multi-million-dollar quarterback suddenly throwing picks left and right and looking pretty freaking mediocre? Like, he doesn't want to run. He's not that accurate. And his arm strength, which was mediocre before, now looks below average. So is he just below average and you guys paid the wrong guy, or is he hurt? I mean, do we need to phrase it that way?
Maybe.
I almost feel like it has to be phrased that way before they're going to be honest with us.
Maybe, but the other thing, I'll play devil's advocate on that, is if Kyle says, oh yeah, it's because of the injury, he's not, then people are going to say, well, why the hell are you playing the guy injured? At the end of the day, somebody's always going to question whatever you ask them. So I think at this point, I don't think Kyle wants to blame it on an injury. I don't think he wants to sit there and have the cop-out answer. Because, hey, if it's me, I'm saying, oh yeah, he's injured, the guy's hurt, we might need a bet. Like, at the end of the day, it's an easy out. It's an easy out. But I don't think Kyle wants to cop out answer. He's gonna say, look, it's not the toe. Made some fucking bad throws, whatever. He said they were good decisions, just didn't hit him right. And he's right. Like, the third one, the first 2 picks were bad. Third one, that was a great defensive play. I'll give him that. But at the end of the day, I would say it's the toe. But again, if you have that excuse, it's going to be a lot of people saying, well, okay, you're playing this man injured, and it's going to start a whole nother dialogue. So at the end of the day, I think he just wants to say, listen, I'm not going to just take the cop-out answer, and we're just going to say what we got to say.
If he throws 3 picks next week, you pulling him for Mac Jones?
If he throws 3 picks next week, I definitely need to pick. I need to sit him down and say, listen, man, let's have a conversation, because we can't be throwing these picks. We got the Browns, right? Okay, the Browns, whatever. We should be able to beat them. I know they have a good defense. We still should be able to beat them. But after that, we got the Colts coming up. We got the Seahawks coming up. We got the playoffs coming up. We got the Bears coming up. Might not make the playoffs if we keep throwing these picks against those teams. So, yeah, I'd probably pull them.
I'm going to share the screen. You mentioned the playoffs coming up. Let's take a look at the NFC standings. Rams are your 1 seed. Philly's the 2. And Philly just lost to Dallas.
Big loss.
Chicago's the 3. Chicago doesn't have much of a run defense. And Chicago's got Caleb Williams, I don't think Caleb's all that great. Tampa's the 4. Tampa just lost. Tampa looks bad right now. They got a ton of injuries. It's starting to. Baker's now hurt. Seattle's the 5. Darnold, he threw 4 picks or whatever a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay's the 6th seed, and they don't look good. They lost to Carolina at home. They're struggling to score points. Their O-line's beat up. The receivers are beat up. And then you got the Niners, and then you got the Lions behind them. Everybody else you can pretty much draw a line through. But it's 8. I think so. Carolina.
I think Dallas has one. If they could,
Dallas
pull it up of Kansas City, they might have. But I'll tell you this: the Chicago Bears. I know they're on top of the world right now. Their schedule is so tough to finish the season. Like they might fall. You could see someone rise.
Let's take a look at that.
They got a tough schedule.
Let's see the Bears' schedule here. The Bears have left.
Look.
They go at Philly,
mm-hmm.
at Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's a loss. Home against Browns. Home against Green Bay. Yeah, they play Green Bay 2 times in 3 weeks.
2 times.
At Niners and home against Detroit. Yeah, heck, Bears may not win again.
Well, I'm saying, like that. At the end of the day, just because they're up top, they might. If you don't believe in Caleb, this is the toughest stretch for him.
Especially now, Philly seems like they're already got the wake up call. That's interesting. Mm-hmm. But I mean, my point was going to be just look at the playoff teams in the NFC. I mean, there's no juggernaut there. I mean, the Rams have a great quarterback and some good receivers and a great D line. The rest of their team is just totally okay. Philly's second corner is not great. They're not running the ball well. Chicago's got iffy run defense and a quarterback that's helter-skelter. Baker Mayfield's dinged up. They got injuries across their roster. Seattle's got a really good defense, but their run game, their O-line, their quarterback, all kind of unreliable. Green Bay, I think, has got all kinds of issues. Niners obviously have their defensive issues up front, but I mean, if somehow the 49er offense could get cooking and really start to roll, especially with the improvement that they're showing on special teams, then the Niners could have a puncher's chance. They're still going to need to have a game where they win the turnover margin and something freaky like that happens. But I mean, I think the 49ers realistically could beat all of those teams: Green Bay, Seattle, Tampa Bay, Bears, Eagles, Rams.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could beat all those teams. I really do. So it does kind of make for a really interesting finish to the year. How good can this 49er defense be? How explosive can this Niner offense be? Can Brock Purdy, get better as the year goes on, or is he gonna regress as the turf toe effects start to take hold? I mean, it's really hard to say. And then if they go back to Jones, how is this offense going to look going back to Jones? So there's a lot of question marks here, but the thing that's super intriguing is that the NFC is so wide open. And you look at those top teams, the top 4 teams in the NFC: Rams, Eagles, Bears, Buccaneers right now.
Not worried.
You're not going to have to beat all of those teams. You're only going to have to probably beat 1 or 2 of those teams. So, I mean, you're going to have to beat a couple teams between Eagles, Bears, Bucks, Seahawks, Packers, But, I mean, that's not like, oh, my God, that's not doable. You got, Purdy's been to a Super Bowl. Jones has been a Pro Bowler. You got a lot of guys who have been in the Super Bowl. I mean, you got a head coach that's coached in multiple Super Bowls. I don't know. I mean, are the Niners super flawed? Yeah. Do they need help on defense? Yeah. They got to get some help up front. And, I don't know about the health of Purdy and how he's going to play, but they got a shot, man, because I think the NFC is better than the AFC, but I don't look at that NFC and go, oh, yeah, no way the Niners going into the Lincoln beating the Eagles. No way can the Niners beat the Rams. No way can
No, it's a wide open. I'm confident we can beat any of these teams. Especially listen, if we go to the Rams and we play them in SoFi, that's a home game for the Niners. I'm not worried about them. Honestly, the only thing I'm worried about is, the O-line and if we can get a pass rush. But if Purdy can continue to kind of like shake off the rust and if he can get better with his timing and stuff, again, hey, on Sunday, if he comes out and he just smokes the Browns, everybody next week on Monday comes, oh, Purdy's back. So it really depends on how the quarterback situation plays out. I hope he can step up and shake this game off and really come out and just have a hell of a game, because that's what we need. But 49ers defense, they're a young defense. They're scrappy. They're going to go through some ups and downs like they have all year, and that's what Salah said. But I think the key X factor for the 49ers is the coaching, man. The coaching has been absolutely amazing, and that's really what's going to carry them through the next couple of weeks, man.
Let me give you one more thing, because I agree with the coaching. I think that's a great one. That's a great angle. I think the 49ers suddenly look really, really kind of dangerous in the red zone. Now, I know that sounds crazy, because the Niners have struggled in the past in the red zone, last year especially, offensively and defensively. They weren't very good in the red zone. And then early in this year, they weren't very good in the red zone, and they really struggled to run the ball inside the 20-yard line of their opponents. If you look at he's had some of the most touches in the red zone, but CMC has been one of the least efficient backs over the first few weeks, or was one of the least efficient backs in the red zone over the first few weeks of the season. So these are the numbers, and Niners Nation had this. This is pretty interesting. So, Raj, the Niners converted only 42.9% of their red zone looks into touchdowns in the first 6 weeks of the year. Okay, first 6 weeks.
Okay.
Since then, since week 6, the 49ers have been on fire in the red zone. They've converted 18 of 22 red zone drives into touchdowns. That's an 81.9% touchdown rate in the red zone. So they've skyrocketed now into the top 10 in red zone scoring percentage, ranking 9th after the game on Monday. And a lot of it's been Kittle. But I also think, they have potential to even be better going forward, because Demarcus Robinson's a really good red zone receiver. He's really good on the rub routes. McCaffrey can be a really good red zone threat. Kittle, obviously a good red zone threat. Pearsall, I think, has the potential to be a really good red zone threat, especially as he builds up more confidence with Purdy. So far this year, Kittle is 8 for 8 on red zone catches for 67 yards and 4 touchdowns.
He's a dog.
So his 8 catches ranks 11th in the NFL.
Wow.
And this is despite missing 5 games. Really 6, because he left in the first quarter of week 1. So, and then Christian McCaffrey leads the NFL with 14 catches in the red zone, going for 88 yards and 5 touchdowns. But it's since the last few weeks, since Kittle returned, he came back against Atlanta, the red zone scoring potential of the 49ers, has really improved. Now, in 2023, the Niners, when the Niners went to the Super Bowl, they were dominant in the red zone. They led the NFL by converting over 67% of their trips in the red zone in that Super Bowl year against, when they went to Vegas. So they're starting to kind of be that type team in the red zone. And Raj, to me, if you want to make an argument that the Niners can go to the Super Bowl out of the NFC, it's going to have to be something like that, where, they catch fire in the red zone, and all of a sudden they're scoring touchdowns in the red zone, and they're not, maybe they're not getting there as much or whatever, but man, they're scoring touchdowns once they're there, because it's going to take, there have been years where the Niners have been the best team or one of the best 2 teams, and they didn't get it done. So maybe this will be the year that they're not one of the best teams, but they find a way to get it done. And the fact that the Super Bowl's at home, the fact that New England might, a very young New England team is the number 1 seed in the AFC. The fact that a lot of the NFC teams look kind of flawed, and you've got some some ability to really maybe dominate in the red zone going forward. That might be enough. It might, and especially with the improved special teams, might be enough. I mean, you never know. You never know.
Yeah, like I said, it's a wide open NFC.
Yeah.
I don't really fear these teams in the NFC, so I feel like the Niners could go on a run. Red zone scoring definitely needs to pick up over, to get you into the big dance and stuff. But yeah, George Kittle, man, he's phenomenal. He's really changed things. You don't want to rely on those field goals, because field goals aren't going to get it done in the playoffs. You have to score touchdowns. You have to score points. You got to put your opponents away. AFC, I feel like, is, I know the Patriots are the number 1 team, but we haven't ever seen Drake May play in the playoffs. It's a whole different story. So I think he'll falter in the playoffs. This first time, I think he's good. I think he'll make it far, or maybe make the Super Bowl at one point, but I don't think this is the year. I feel like the AFC's not as strong as, people give it credit for, but it's going to be one of those teams. It's probably going to be the Ravens or the Chiefs if they make it somehow, some way. They always figure out a way because they got great coaching, and that's what really matters in the playoffs. I'm really, sticking to my guns with coaching, and the 49ers coaching staff. Like, you have to give them so much credit this year. The fact that they're 8-4, 8-4, and all the adversity they've been through. This Niner coaching job has been fantastic, and that's what's going to help them get to where they need to be. Now, when I was watching that game yesterday, Larry, I'm going, how the hell are we winning this game? How are we winning this game? All the interceptions, everything. And I'm just sitting there going, man, we are blessed to have the coaching staff that we have. Kyle Shanahan has been great this year. Robert Saleh, we all know he's been amazing. And Brant Boyer, special teams has really improved. So as long as we got these three coaches and everybody else on this staff, Larry, Niners got a chance to win playoff games.
All right, let's do a little sleeper here. 49er Football on the Krug Show is presented by Sleeper, the fastest growing fantasy platform in the world. It's a one-stop shop. You get blazing fast news, real-time stats, group chat, season-long leagues, and, of course, Sleeper Picks for daily fantasy, where you choose 2 to 8 players pregame or live and pick more or less on their statistical projections. And if you're new to it, use promo code Larry. You'll get a 100% deposit match up to $100 in your first deposit. The link is right there in the description. Terms and conditions do apply. All right, let's take a look at our sleeper lineup here. Raj, I'll give you first pick. Who do you want to go with?
Let's see. I'm smashing Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown. It just seems like a lock to me.
All right, let's go there. We'll go more than a half a touchdown. Let's go Quinshon Judkins. What's Judkins over under number?
You got to go to stat. Go to the little stat thing, and then it'll pull up other stats.
Let's see.
You see the little thing that says stat?
Yeah. I guess we can't do that, maybe.
No, it won't let you click it.
It won't let me click it.
Okay.
Okay, so
they might not have all the.
They may not have all of it up there yet. Yeah, I like that one right there, though. Is that an anytime touchdown for him too? Yeah, let's go more. I think Judkins is going to score.
Okay.
Let's go Dylan Sampson. What does he have?
I don't think they have all the stuff. It's just all touchdowns.
Oh, just touchdowns. No, we don't want that.
Shador. Let's see Shador. What do you got for Shador?
Well, there we
Perfect
go.
timing.
We got Shador. I think Shador's going to throw a pick.
Think he's going to throw a pick?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, yeah, interception more. Smash that more. Smash that more. Perfect timing.
You got another Shador you want to do?
No.
Or you want to go Purdy?
No. Is there a Myles Garrett? There's got to be a Myles Garrett. Come on.
It's over under 17 sacks in the game.
He might get the over. Let me see. He's not on there?
No, but how about let's see let's see Pearsall. They got to get the ball to Pearsall one of these games.
I'm not going to bet on Pearsall.
No? You don't believe in Pearsall?
I mean, I don't. It's not that I don't, but it's a risky bet.
Okay, we'll take Pearsall.
But we only have the touchdown anyways for him.
Let's see Purdy.
Okay, let's see what Brocky has.
Because Purdy will have some stuff.
Over under 216.5?
Is that what's that 17.5? Is that what's that?
Completions.
Oh, okay. No, we don't want that. Do they have what's that 33.5?
33.5 is longest completion.
Oh no. What's 28.5?
Pass attempts.
Oh, so they don't have rush yards. I wanted to go under on the rush yards.
Mm.
They don't have that.
They just have pass yards, and yeah.
216.5. He's got to throw for more than 216. No,
I think so.
Okay, let's go more on 216.5. That's risky. But let's see. Let's see if we go 4 for $4. $5 bet. 5 to win 28.50. I like that. I like
Water
that.
into wine, baby. Water
Big
into
thanks to Sleeper. Remember, use code Larry, LARRY, for 100% deposit match up to $100. Links right in the description. Terms apply. Help support the show and get you rolling on the #1 sports app. Thanks to Sleeper for being a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. All right, we should do our big finish here. And it's brought to you by Habbas Law. Thanks to Habbas Law for being a proud sponsor of the Krug Show as well. If you need someone in your corner, call the firm the insurance companies hope you never call, and that's Habbas Law. They will fight to make it right. There it is, 1-800-INJURED. They will fight to make it right. Habbas Law, HABBAS law.com. Today's show sponsored by Habbas Law. Omar Habbas and Tarek Habbas, they're very community-oriented. They're great guys. They're great attorneys. When you need someone to go against the insurance companies, think Habbas Law, 1-800-INJURED. They will fight to make it right. Once again, habbaslaw.com on the web. All right, let's go to our big finish. I wanted to ask you about this. Why is Kyle Shanahan, why is he so bad against Jim Schwartz? Kyle Shanahan is a head coach and offensive coordinator, 1-8 all time against Browns defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz, who runs that wide nine. Kyle's offenses have only averaged 15.7 points per game in those games against Schwartz. Sunday's going to be a very difficult game for the Niners if the Niners can't score points because their defense is really challenged. And I don't think Shador's great, but if all he's got to do is score 17 points to win, then he may do it. So what do you think? What is it about Schwartz that makes Shanahan just always, his offense just gets stymied?
He just knows him, man. He just knows how to scheme against him. Some coaches just know how to coach against another guy. He always has the schemes. He always has the philosophy. He just owns him, man. I don't know. I don't know what else to say other than he literally is like his, for lack of a better word, he makes Kyle his bitch, that's it. Bottom line, he just knows how to play Kyle. He just understands Kyle's offensive system, and he literally knows what I got to do to stop it. I mean, you got to realize Kyle runs the wide nine or a variant of it. He usually does on defense. That defense is what Schwartz uses, so he kind of understands what's going to work against Kyle's offense. So that's it. He just owns it, man. It's crazy. I'm worried about this game, Larry, because A, Myles Garrett, B, Jim Schwartz, he knows how to coach up Kyle. It's always a tough game against Cleveland. The Cleveland Browns make us work. I don't know how many times I've sat there and watched a Cleveland game and I'm going, what's going on? Why are we losing?
Niners haven't won there since 1984. Their pass rush is number 1 in pass rush win rate. Their defense is number 1 in run stop win rate. I mean, they're both number 1 against the run and the pass.
Yeah, he just has his number. I think Schwartz knows Kyle's not going to change much. He does his offense. He runs it the way he's going to run it, and he knows what he's going to run. I guarantee you, Jim Schwartz could probably script Kyle's plays for him. He probably knows what he's going to run.
He seems like he does. Yeah. He seems like he knows what he's going to run. All right, let's hit some supers and we'll bolt for the door. We got this one from PWS off of 1 week of practice, just 1 week of practice. Imagine a full off season. It gets dangerous via Shador Sanders post-game interview versus Las Vegas.
Did you see that?
Oh, yeah. He, so he's basically touting himself. He talks a big game.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like Shador. I want to see him succeed, but he got a little cocky. He was talking a lot after beating the Raiders. I was like, okay, man. I hope we smacked that boy.
He completed like 52% of his passes.
He didn't do much. 60 yards of his he had 200 yards.
He had one big long 52-yard
bomb. It was like a 60-yard pass. No, wasn't it? Yeah, the bomb.
Yeah.
And then he had the little screen pass. It was a screen pass. Screen pass.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, if the Niners can't score, then it's going to be a ball game. Big Phil says Big Phil 49er became a YouTube member. There you go. Welcome aboard, Big Phil. We got this one from Arpod. Make Shanny block for Purdy until he builds an O-line. There you go. You don't like it. You don't have a good enough line. You block. We got this one from John Muniz. If Brock's hurt, then why even bring him back? Because I think he wanted to come back. He wanted to come back, and he's their best quarterback. He's their number one guy. He wanted to come back. They didn't want to fight him on it, so they let him come back when he wanted to come back, and now he's going to be gone before they need him in the playoffs. SRT was his toe hurt last season when he was throwing interceptions. 23. Brock Purdy was 23. Brock Purdy was 2 full seasons ago. We have to stop perceiving him as this guy from 2 seasons ago. He is what he is now. It's hard to say what he is now. I mean, to me, he looks like the guy I saw in practice who was floating passes. I think he's hurt. And he's out there. But guess what? It doesn't matter what you are. If you're out there, the perception is you're healthy. And, that's it. Bottom line, you either do or you don't. There's no ambiguity about any of this. John Muniz says Brock has never had a big arm. Thank you, John. We got this one from John Muniz. Team is drama because of content creator. Team has drama because of content creators and toxic fans. LOL. Been a fan since the 90s. Never used to have drama back then. Just saying, it's really exhausting.
I'll say this. I think social media has changed because now you can see what people are thinking in real time and stuff. But to say there wasn't drama back then, it's just you didn't have a collection of thoughts on social media. But there was the water cooler. There was right after, there was recess break. You would talk what you had to say about the game around that time, but it didn't get around. Like social media, people could say what they need to say. You know what's going on. You have a whole different side of sports because you can say what you got to say in the media. But to say there wasn't drama is crazy. There was drama. I mean, look at the 49ers had one of the biggest quarterback controversies of all time, Larry. Steve Young, Joe Montana. That was drama.
No, come on. There's always been drama. Heck, there was more passion for it back then. But the reality is there's a lot of people now who are, because they're not in the media, because they never have to worry about facing up the players, facing up the PR people, facing up anybody with the team. They can go off aggressively and more half-cocked and more uninformed and with more passion and with more, fire, because they're not really accountable to anybody, because it's like, they're not going to get they don't have a credential, so they don't have to worry about their credential getting yanked. They don't have a relationship with the players, so they don't have to worry about the players turning on them. They don't know who the PR people are, so they don't have to worry about the influence that the PR staff is going to have on them and what they say and do. They don't have any access, so they don't have to worry about their access being limited. When you have nothing, you've got nothing to lose. And there's a lot of people that have nothing that are covering this team, and they have nothing to lose. And if you have nothing to lose, damn right you're going to shoot from the hip. Why the hell wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? I mean, why wouldn't you shoot from the hip if there was no repercussions? People only are measured when they're going to have to face up Trent Williams, when they're going to have to actually interact with the media staff, when they're going to have to see Jed, when they're going to have to face up John Lynch. When you're only going to be a little bit more measured if you really feel like you're going to come face to face with these people, and you're going to have to own what you say. I think that's a big part of it. I think there's, when you got a pretty big audience, but you're pretty disconnected from the actual participants that you're talking about, it's easy to just be hypercritical. Anybody can be the sniper from the tower. It's harder to be boots on the ground in the locker room, face to face, interacting, and then also be critical. It's a tap dance that, as you guys know, I try to do. And I feel like I do it as well as I can. Right. So I'm going to be as critical as I possibly can be, and I'll be as critical as I want to be, but I'm going in there and I'm facing everybody up. So I'm not going to napalm the entire locker room, because so I can make my life miserable on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So, I think that you're going to be somewhat measured when you're going to face people up. Yeah. I think that's just human nature. It's like, so personally, I am entertained by the people who are the most passionate, whether they're facing people up or not. And I know many of you are as entertained by that as I am. So I totally get it why some people can just rip and rip and rip and rip. And it's like, there's no repercussions. And so they're just going to let it fly. And I'm okay with that. I mean, it's just, but I mean, that's the difference. If some people sometimes will be a Krug, you get very critical. I do get very critical because at the end of the day, I'm just honest and I'm passionate, and I don't want to lie to any of you guys about football. I just don't. I'm not going to sit there and tell you, blow smoke up everybody's ass, tell you how great your team is if they suck. And I'm just going to be straight about it. And I'm going to be real about it. And that's going to make some of the players dislike me. I got to be honest. There'll be some players who watch what I say and things that I say and are probably like, what do you know? And blah, 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 whatever. I mean, that's fine. That's totally fine. If they want to have that opinion, I've actually got none of that. I know that there's guys in that room that listen to me, and I know there's guys in that room that probably don't like some of the things I've said, but I work hard at trying to maintain dialogue and professionalism. And, I want to continue the conversation, but at the same time, I'm not a stooge. And Raj is not a stooge, and we're not just going to sit here and, give me a 4, give me a 9, give me an E, give me an R. What, we're not, we're not cheerleaders, but also like I try to explain to people, some people are like, do you have an agenda? You have an anti-Niner agenda. I'm like, no, you fucking moron. I have a pro Niner agenda. You can't see that. I have a pro Niner agenda. I want the Niners to do well. When the Niners, if the Niners have a massive Super Bowl run, my channel's going to do incredibly well, and I'm going to do incredibly well. And so if I have any agenda, it's not that they lose. The agenda is that they win, because if they win, then I'm going to do better. So it's like, do you have an agenda? Yeah, I want to see them win. Yes, you're absolutely right. I do have an agenda. And if I sound like I have an agenda, it's because I do. I want to see them win.
Yeah.
and I'm not, because it actually means something as far as growth to my channel and growth. So I want to see them win. I'm not mad at them if they lose, but I'm just saying I do have a preference. I'm not going to sit here and be like, I don't care if they win or lose. I do care. I do care if they win. I'm like you guys. I want them to win, and I do better if they win. And Raj, you probably do better if they win as well.
Niners win, we're all happy. I mean, I'm a fan. I don't want to see my team lose, but it's great if you're, a content creator, you're doing social media, the wins are always going to be better for you, not just, monetary wise, but just mentally. You don't want to wake up the next day and you're like, oh shit, I got to talk about this team after a lot. Do you really want to talk about this team after a stupid loss? No, because everybody's upset. Everybody's negative. Like the comment says, there's a lot of toxicity and stuff. That's what happens when there's a loss, when bad stuff happens, when there is drama, then the toxicity levels go up because everybody's pissed off. Your emotions get the best of you. I want everybody to be happy. I want people to be, talking great stuff. Hey, Niners won. That's good. How do you feel? Oh, victory Monday. Yeah. So, yeah, at the end of the day, Niners win. We all win.
Krug Show, Kev putting out there. It's not just the channel, though. Born and raised in San Francisco. Yeah, I'm a native San Franciscan. I'm a Niner fan. My dad took me out to Candlestick in 1975. I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
The Niners had AstroTurf. They had Plunkett. I mean, they weren't, they were not good. This is like pre-DeBerg, pre-Joe. So yeah, I'm a Niner fan through and through, at my core. And so I think people understand that. I think people watch me, I think understand that where my heart is. I want to see the Niners win. And I'm not going to pretend otherwise. Okay, let's see. We got that. Okay, we got that. Do we get this one? Okay, that's what we just did that one. Okay. John Muniz. Can't lose Salah this offseason. Yeah, that preferably not. Stefan says J.C. Horn's brother Gabe Horn got to Juwan. Gabe Horn. Get it? Gabe Horn.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't as good as that one guy that usually comes in. That was the kind
of Kid Trickster.
Kid Yeah, that was a reach one.
Come on, kid trickster. Stefan says Brock spamming over on interceptions on Sleeper.
He might.
Rozier from the NBA said, "Hey, yeah, damn right." Stefan says, "What happens if Shador also outplays Brock?"
We're gonna hear all about it on ESPN. We're gonna hear every post. It's gonna be Shador. Oh my God, bro.
Oh, I can't handle that. Stefan says, "What do you think Mac is internally thinking right now?"
Good question.
He's probably internally thinking, "I'm going to make a shit ton of money."
Yeah, bro. He's like, yo, I'm gonna get paid this year.
I mean, he looks good. He looks really good. There's something. I mean, I really like. I'm a Brock Purdy fan. Everybody knows that. But I gotta be honest. I'm really enjoying Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones is really good.
Fun guy, man. He's a good. His personality is great.
He's easy to root for, huh?
Yeah, he's very easy to root for. I just like he's a good personality. You know, it's funny because when the Niners are going to do their draft a couple years ago, and we were all debating Justin Fields, Trey Lance, and Mac Jones. Like that draft class was absolutely terrible. Looking back, Mac might be the best guy, but back then I didn't really know his personality. I didn't really because nobody wanted him, and I was like, I don't want to get to know this guy. But now seeing him on the team and hearing his interviews and just the way he talks, the way he carries himself, he's a cool dude. I like.
He is. He's a very likable dude, and he's very natural. He's very real. I mean, it's he's good. He's good. I'm not in a rush to trade him. And if you trade him, you better get something freaking good because he's good. He's good. John Muniz says, respect to you both. Thank you, John. Respect going back to you. All right, let's bolt for the door. It's Thanksgiving week. You got big plans on Turkey Day, Raj? Are you the cook? Or will you be hosting? Or is it a road game for you? You get out on the road. What's the Melwani tradition?
So I live out here. My daughter, she's splits time with me and her mom. So I'm gonna do the first half and take her to mom's, and she's gonna do her second half, and then I'll probably bolt to my friends and do a little Friendsgiving. But I always cook. I do the cooking. Me and my daughter, we have a cool dinner or lunch or whatever the case is. So I cook it all, make it all ready, and then I have a lot of leftovers for myself. And then
I was gonna say, are you doing a full bird?
No, I like it. We don't do a full, but we do a good enough size. And then sometimes I'll do a ham. This year we're doing turkey, and then I get all the fixings and stuff. So plenty of leftovers always for the weekend. So
nice. Nothing better than a hot turkey sandwich on Friday or Saturday after Thanksgiving. Yeah. Favorite Thanksgiving side dish? What's the thing that you gotta have that you're like, you know what? I don't care about the rest of it. Just get me this.
Gotta have. Oh, man. I used to not like it as much, but over the years, I probably would. A couple years ago, I would have said like mac and cheese, but now I love the stuffing. I love the Thanksgiving stuffing's good, and then I have to have a chocolate pecan pie. Like that I can eat the whole.
Like a chocolate cream pie?
No, chocolate pecan pie. Okay. I can eat that whole damn thing by myself. The whole chicken. I'm like, I'll pull it out and I'm eating, and I'm like, oh shit, I ate the whole thing. Here we go. So.
Well, dude, good stuff. Have a great holiday. Thanks to everybody. Everybody hit like and subscribe on their way out the door. Thanks to Sleeper. Thanks to Pig in a Pickle. Thanks to Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles. And, of course, thanks to Habbas Law. And thanks to you, Raj. Have a great holiday, man. It's always been a pleasure streaming with you. We'll do it again next week. Go Niners. Niners, big game this week. Let's see if they can get it done against the Browns in Cleveland. And we'll be with you next week again to break it all down. So thanks to Raj. Thanks to all of you. Have a great night. Peace.
Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of.